When I was a kid,
Sorry.
I already started.
Sorry.
Here we go. You ever go back and watch the shows that you grew up with and just realize how many of them were weird? From crazy characters with deceptive personality disorders and stories that made absolutely no sense. Today, we're looking back on some of our most memorable shows from childhood. Whether it was watching a total geek land a girl who was entirely out of his league, robots that transformed into mechanically challenged cars, or cute and cuddly bears with serious addiction issues, we're going to talk about it all. Buckle up. This is going to be a fun one. Let's go. Speaking of buckling up, I would like to welcome back my good friend and cousin Jake, who is zooming in from his car while driving through traffic.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm driving with my knees right now.
Yes. Well, your hand's free, so I think that that's fine.
That's great. Well, I need to
Yes.
drink coffee, right?
Well, you got to drink your coffee somehow. And I should just clarify for people who are not watching this on YouTube, Jake is actually not driving through traffic. He's parked in a parking lot somewhere.
I am parked overlooking the ocean. It's a
Oh,
beautiful
that's
view.
yeah, that sounds awesome. You and coming
Yeah.
in from beautiful Tawasin, British Columbia there?
Beautiful, beautiful Tawasin shores. Yeah.
Oh,
Looking at the ocean and the port, and it's a nice sunny day here.
Tawasin will always have a special place in my heart. I lived there for like 4 years, and that was a great 4 years.
It's a very nice place.
A wonderful
I
place.
miss your old house, Adam.
I also miss my old house. We will porch stoop again, Jake. We will porch stoop again.
We will. This
Yes,
is in the future. We will
yes, exactly.
force you again.
So speaking of houses and old houses and stuff like that, this is a perfect segue into
Mhm.
one of the first shows I ever remember watching that unfortunately had a huge impact on my formative years, and that was Pee-wee's Playhouse with Pee-wee Herman, aka Paul Rubin.
Right. Yes. Yeah, a
Yeah,
little ahead of my time, before my time, but I
yeah,
did
you weren't
see,
even born yet, but it was your
I
dad
don't
who,
know.
well, it was your dad who actually introduced me to Pee-wee Herman. So you were like, in a way, you were kind of there, I guess, like on some
Okay.
level, I guess, and it's a weird way, I don't know.
On some cosmic
Yeah, exactly.
microscopic
But your
level.
dad introduced me to Pee-wee, and he's like, "Oh, this is a great show." And then he just left me
Yeah.
alone to watch it. Like, let's put this 4-year-old kid in front of this TV with this weird man who lives alone and talks to his furniture, and this
Hmm.
will be the role model for this young boy coming up in the world. Ha ha ha! Like,
Setting you up to be a perpetual man-child.
wow, you want to talk about a weird show? I mean, that was a weird show. Like it literally looks like if you go back, like I don't know if the writers were doing acid or LSD or what, but I mean, like who came up with the concept for that show?
I don't know. It's bizarre. I've only seen the movie, so
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know too much about the show, but I assume it's the same.
you know what? The movies were excellent. The movie, I think Pee-wee's Big Adventure, is that the one where he gets his bike stolen?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
gets his bike stolen. He goes on this big adventure to get it
that
back.
is a killer movie. If anyone out there used to watch Pee-wee or loves comedy, it's actually an excellent like comedy movie. I was actually shocked with how funny it was.
Yeah, it is really good, and I feel like it stands up. It
It
still
really
stands up
does.
today.
Large
Yeah,
Marge.
fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Hard to merge.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, that was for me, that was normal. Like, other than my parents, I didn't have a ton of role model. Well, I mean, I did, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're a kid, you live in this really tiny microcosm. So I had my
Mhm.
parents who I saw all the time, which to me is one level of normal. And then there was Pee Wee Herman, which was the other level of normal. And so I just kind of always thought that like, oh yeah, this is what you grow up and become. This weird man who lives alone and talks to his furniture.
Right, right. Well, that explains a lot now.
Well, it explains a lot. But it was, I don't know, good show, crazy show. And anytime I find myself looking at the shows that are on nowadays and I'm like saying how awful or weird they are, like I got to remind myself I was watching Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, I look at some of the cartoons these days, and I'm like, these
Yeah.
kids watching these days. I'm like,
I
all
know.
right, he's talking to his toilet,
I know.
so
I
I
don't
guess
think it
it's not that much weirder.
I don't think it could be weirder than Pee-wee's Playhouse if you wanted to. I guarantee, man, if I saw my daughter watching that show, I'd be like, you turn this off right now. I don't know what the heck this
Right?
is. You turn that off. It's a forbidden show. And then of
Yeah,
course he had his incident where he was you remember the Pee Wee movie theater
yeah,
infamous
yeah. lewd act in a
Lewd
movie
act in a movie
theater.
theater. That was my childhood idol right there. That was who I was basing my whole life trajectory on, and he gets caught doing something in a movie theater and he went to jail. That was really disheartening for me. Well,
I feel
Pee
like
Wee
jail
Herman's
is maybe a little over the top.
didn't he go to jail? I don't know. I thought he went to jail. Well, Pee Wee Herman went to jail. How did Pee Wee Herman, what did he go to jail for? Well, I can't really tell you. Oh, okay. That was a conversation
Yeah,
I had with my mom. I think she
it's
read it.
it's disappointing.
Yeah, I was disappointed. Oh well.
Yeah,
Just speaking of weird things, do you remember Alvin and the Chipmunks? Did you ever watch that?
I do. Yeah, I actually watched that quite a bit as a kid.
Nice. Yeah, that was
Yeah, it's another very
ear-piercing.
bizarre show.
It was a very bizarre show, and I never, again, like so many of the shows we watched back then, you just kind of watched it and enjoyed it, and you didn't question what was the premise there. How did Dave, a human male in his 30s, have these like three human-size English-speaking chipmunks?
Right, right. Yeah, you wonder, did he procreate with a chipmunk? Did he create them in a lab?
Yeah, was he some kind of crazy like what would you like slicing DNA and stuff like that? He had
Yeah.
some like Jurassic Park type lab in his basement. He's like, I finally made it, the human chipmunk hybrid.
Yeah, exactly.
Take over the musical
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, there's some very odd themes in cartoons back then.
Well,
You didn't really
yeah, and
question it.
I think it was probably awful for parents. Like any parent who had to do a road trip with an Alvin and the Chipmunks CD, that must have been hell.
Oh my God, it's so
Just
annoying. Even as a kid, though, I
I
remember
know
thinking it was annoying.
Chipmunks' greatest hits.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, no, it was just like no explanation, no questions asked, no explanation needed. It's just a man who may or may not have done something horrendous with a chipmunk, and now has these three human hybrid chipmunks and are
Three
rock stars.
oversized, yeah, humanoid chipmunks. Yeah,
Yeah, not a lot of questions
very
being
strange.
asked in that pitch meeting. Like, whoever pitched that show, like those producers weren't asking too many follow-up questions. Sold.
Yeah, well, I feel like shows back then were more fun. They're a little more like they didn't really worry about it too much. More
I know.
goofy and just weird for the sake of
Okay,
weird.
well, speaking of Goofy, I'm gonna jump right to it. This was
Right.
another one. Again, didn't question it at all when I was a kid, but now as an adult, like looking back when my daughter watches these shows, I saw Goof Troop. There, I was watching. Well, she was watching Disney Plus the other day, and I saw like
Mm,
Goof Troop and the suggested things, and I started thinking about it because that was a show from our childhood, and
mm,
I thought about it. Well, what is the premise of Goof Troop? Well, Goofy is a single dad he's like a suburban single dad who's raising his teenage son, right?
mm.
But what does that mean? Goofy's a father, which means that he actually procreated with someone. And you got to know that that was a low
Right. So
point
is there
in that,
female Goofy?
I guess, but you got to know that that
Did
was
they
a
ever show it?
low point in that person's life. Like if Goofy is the person you're choosing to like reproduce with, like you didn't have many options or he got you at a low point. Like,
This this giant mentally challenged dog person.
well, he's Goofy had something
Yeah.
going on. I don't know. I mean, but really, like of all the
It's,
Disney characters who could have had children, like I would have put my money on Mickey, not Goofy.
yeah.
Mickey had it together.
Yeah.
Like
It was a good
Goofy
point.
was like this like crazy lunatic. But hey, it's kind of like real life. It's just sort of things coming out of left field. Um, okay, speaking of dads,
I'll censor myself. Yeah.
Did you ever watch Transformers?
I saw it a bit, but again, that was another like 80s
Too
cartoon
young
that
for
was a
that?
little ahead of my time.
Transformers is like really big
It's
for
a
kids
bit.
who grew up in the 80s.
Yeah, but there was a big shift from the 80s to the early 90s and like the cartoons.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they'd run them for like maybe 10 years and there'd be new ones. So, like I grew up with mostly the Japanese cartoons, all the
Like
anime shows.
yeah, yeah. Like such as
Oh, like Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z was like one of the best and simultaneously worst shows to ever be on TV, I think.
Yeah, well, because of all of the long drawn out power-ups.
It was like half the show was power-ups.
Yeah.
And then the show would
Yeah,
end
that's a
and
lot of filler.
they'd be like Tune in next week for more exciting Dragon Ball Z. And they'd show you a preview of like the next episode, and it was just guys doing power-ups the whole time. And he was like,
Yeah,
so
they'd
what?
spend 5 hours being constipated, going,
Yeah,
and
but it
then you
was
finally
cool.
get something.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Did you ever watch Inspector Gadget, or are you too young for that?
Mm. No, I did actually. I loved Inspector Gadget as a kid. I think I was maybe like 5 or 6 when I was
Dude,
watching that.
that was such a good show. And
That was a rad show. I really
it was so
enjoyed that
good.
one. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I remember watching Penny. She had that watch, right? That could make phone calls and she could look stuff up on her watch, and Brain had that book. They also had that book where they it was essentially like
Mm.
a computer and a book. And
Yeah,
a lot of people think that was predictive programming, that technology they were trying to tell us that like this technology is going to be coming out soon, and like getting people ready to be like using their Apple Watch and their iWatch and iPad and stuff like that based on the
it
shows they were
could be.
watching when
It
they were
could be.
kids. Yeah.
Sorry, Adam. I have to cut you off for 1 second. My phone is overheating right now. Literally never seen that before, so of course it has to happen while we're trying to do a podcast.
Why wouldn't it? Why not
Well,
right now? Okay, apologies for the technical difficulties. We are back. Let's just jump right back into it. I wish I had a coffee. I've already had two coffees today. I'm watching you drink your coffee there. I should have got a third
I
one.
know.
Anyway,
I'm on number 2.
all
Yeah.
right, we're gonna jump right back in. Apologies to everyone for the technical glitches here. Um,
Yes.
we're talking about Inspector Gadget. I want to get to the next thing because I don't know what I already said about this, but dude, Inspector Gadget, that was an amazing show. Dr. Claw, was Dr. Claw a big cat? Was that a conspiracy when we were children?
Uh,
He
didn't
had the
they like
cat.
never show his face?
You never saw his face.
I think
He
you
had
never
that.
saw his face,
You only saw his
but
hand,
yeah,
and
but he always held a cat.
he held a fat cat,
Yeah, he held a fat cat. Yeah.
and he didn't actually have a claw.
No, I thought he did have a claw, didn't he?
I thought it was just a black glove that he pet his cat with, and he was always like driving in his weird car slash spaceship thing at the end,
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I mean,
saying
it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Get you next time, Gadget." But the Inspector Gadget, that was a good show. I feel
Good.
like, despite how weird that one was, it was one of the like the more normal cartoons. Despite the fact that like Brain was a dog who was like smarter than most of the humans on the show, and I feel like it was like fairly normalized.
It was pretty yeah, it was pretty straightforward. There was nothing weird or risque in it.
I
I
know
remember having
it.
a crush on Penny. I was like 5 or 6. I thought she was cute.
Yeah, that's funny.
Should we talk about cartoon crushes?
Go ahead.
Well, just kid growing up with cartoon characters, or you're like, wow, she's really hot.
Dude, cartoon crushes. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I had any cartoon cartoon crushes
Well,
Other than Jessica Rabbit on Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I don't know if you ever saw Sailor Moon.
I did, but I couldn't get into it. It was too weird for me.
Yeah, I mean it was odd, and it was definitely more of a girl show, but
You secretly
watching
watched
those
it.
transformations, yeah, I was like, oh,
There was one with brown hair. I thought she was really hot. I can't remember. Oh, that's funny. Now that you mention it, I did have a crush on one of the Sailor Moon characters.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, there was one for like every type.
you're
There's
totally
a
right. One for every
there's a
kind.
Sailor Scout for everyone.
Yeah, that was great marketing.
Sailor Sailor Jupiter, I think she was the brunette.
Was she? Oh, that's awesome.
I think so.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, I remember Sailor Moon came on right before Pokemon.
Right.
And I remember, so my brother, younger brother, he'd
Mm.
always get home after school, race home after school. Remember when you like raced home after school to watch cartoons? You would sprint home,
Hmm.
try to watch cartoons. I haven't sprinted. I don't remember the last time I sprinted, but as a kid, I remember running home every day when there was a good cartoon on.
I remember there was like I think cartoons started like right at 3 p.m.
Yeah, they did.
But we
Because
would get out of school at 2:45.
yeah,
And I remember thinking even as a kid, I was like, who's planning this?
I know this is horrible
I was like, we
planet. I
have
know.
15 minutes to get home.
I know.
Like, don't
There's
you
no
know that we get out at
collaboration
2:45?
between the elementary schools and
Yeah,
the cartoon networks. It was brutal.
yeah. You got to
Where
give us a little time to get
where was
home
the
and set
planning?
it in.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
like they didn't have the best cartoons starting right at 3, and Sailor Moon was on from 3 to 3:30. And I remember that
Right.
because I'd get home and Garrett would always be watching the end of Sailor Moon, getting ready for Pokemon.
Right.
And I remember I would like, dude, it was hilarious when I first saw him watching Pokemon. I would walk through and I'd see it and I'd be like, "This is the stupidest show. What are you watching this for? This is dumb."
Yeah.
And then
Mm.
like a couple weeks, I'd be walking through and I'd just walk a little slower and be like, "Well, this is dumb. What's he doing?
Yeah.
Why is he doing that? What's that?" And then it started asking questions. And then eventually it transitioned from me like walking through the room. Now I'm sitting down on the questions. I mean, sitting down on the couch asking questions and saying how stupid the show is. And then give it another week. And dude, him and I are watching it together. And I'm like so
Yeah.
into it. I can't stop watching it.
Yeah. That's OG Pokemon when they had the Poke Rap.
Pokemon was awesome. But as an adult, you know what Pokemon essentially was? It was glorified cockfighting.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it's an entire world built around animal abuse
I know.
and
It's crazy.
cockfighting.
I know. You
You're like,
gotta go kill each other.
yeah, the whole plot was like you're 10 years old. Now it's time for you to go out and enslave a small animal, travel around the
Yeah.
country and
Yeah.
battle with other children.
Yes. It's very weird. Like, what a weird premise.
It's very strange, but when you're a kid, it's like it's the best thing ever.
I know. Again, you just don't question it. It's just here it
Mhm.
is. This is a great show, and go out and collect them all. Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, Pokemon was one of like two shows I think where I wanted to live in that world more than anything.
It was really cool. Like it was a very magical and beautiful world that they created. That is for sure. All like going on
Yeah,
quests to the different areas and stuff.
that's it, man. Going on adventures. These kids never seem to go to school.
I know. What was up with yeah?
They
They were
just
just like orphan children roaming the world cockfighting.
right, right,
These
exactly.
captured animals. What an
Yeah, and they
odd.
just had such a great time. They just go on adventures together.
Yeah.
I don't know how they took care of themselves, just like walking through the woods from one
Yes.
town to
I
another.
know. No wonder we liked it so much. What a rad premise for a kid to sort of like grow up watching and like being in that world.
It was exactly the life I wanted to lead.
If
It was
only
either
Pokemon
that,
were real.
if only. It was
You
either
really missed your
Pokemon or
calling.
Dragon Ball Z.
Well, I mean, you can still get into cockfighting now if you want, I guess. You just got to move to a different country or go underground. It's not too late for you, Jake.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go catch a chicken off a farm or a rooster and
Yeah.
you could don't let the dream die.
Gonna move down to Mexico.
Well, okay,
Start,
yeah.
start
Well,
my new life.
so speaking of animal abuse, this is something I was thinking about recently. How many of our
Mhm.
cartoons were essentially animals trying to kill each other?
I think it was a lot, and I think it was mostly the Japanese cartoons.
Like what?
I remember this another one called like Monster Rancher,
Oh yeah.
and it was like it was these two kids got transported to a faraway land, to a land where monsters rule, and it was monsters battling each other.
Oh, it's hilarious. Well, I was thinking of
And it was
shows like,
great.
well, I was thinking of shows like Tom and Jerry, where the whole
Right,
thing
right.
is just like what happens is they
Classic
get
cartoons, yeah.
Tom is trying to eat Jerry, or Jerry was trying to eat Tom. I don't know who. I think Tom was a cat. That would make sense. And that was the whole thing. He was trying to eat the mouse, kill the mouse, and getting super hurt
Hmm.
all the time. And Sylvester and Tweety, it just like dude, the shows were so violent. And what was it,
Yes.
Coyote and Roadrunner? Like, what was our attention span, or like how low were our expectations back then that we just watched the same Roadrunner like running off a cliff weekend after weekend and still be entertained by that?
Well, that's the magic of being a child.
Yeah,
It's like, is
repetitive.
it gonna be different this time? No, it's the same every time.
Yeah, he's gonna run through a train tunnel and get hit by a
Yeah.
train, and then we're gonna blow him up with some dynamite. And then the cliff
Mhm.
face is actually gonna blow up. And boy, this is gonna be great.
It's amazing. Well, that goes back to Pokemon. I tried watching Pokemon again
Yeah,
out of curiosity, and I
yeah,
was like, oh my God, how did I watch this as a kid? It is so repetitive. Every
yeah.
single episode follows the same exact format.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
And
Um,
these people never learn. Team Rocket never learns.
they never learn.
They get blasted into the stratosphere every single episode.
Oh, and they had that chant. What was their chant? They had that song. I hated that. That was the only part of the episode I couldn't stand after I became a fan. I just hated the Team Rocket dance. Drove me
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah, they would They would do their little dance and their theme song every time.
Oh God, that's so
Yeah,
annoying. You know, I was just
yeah.
looking back through my notes to make sure there was nothing I missed. All our weird tech glitches started happening when we were talking about Transformers, I think. I just wanted to touch on one
Okay.
thing. Transformers, you want to talk about shows you can't rewatch. I thought it would be cool to go back and watch the original Generation 1 Transformers because to me that was also, other than Pee-wee's Playhouse, that's the first show that I remember watching, and it was so good. The music was so good, and like the idea was so cool. But the animation was
Hmm.
so bad, they would change sizes all the time and change colors and voices. And
Right.
the weirdest part of that show to me, though, was that like the Decepticons, the bad guys, all their vehicles were really cool. They were like tanks, sports cars, like really like sort of like badass vehicles and stuff. And then the
Yeah.
Autobots had a guy who was a Westphalia van. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I need a vehicle that will strike fear into the hearts of my enemies.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Exactly.
Optimus Prime is a semi truck. I don't know, man. It's just kind of like what a weird premise for a show. And
Yeah.
Bumblebee was like a Volkswagen Bug. Like, it was basically. I feel like it was just like. I wonder if Transformers was actually made by the car companies.
It's early propaganda for
Early
children.
propaganda get us all into cars and vehicles at a young age. Uh, so we've talked a lot about like fun cartoons. Do you remember any scary
Hmm.
shows from when you were a kid? Like either scary cartoons or
Uh,
scary shows on TV?
yes, two come to mind.
Okay, what are they?
So it's Goosebumps
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
and Are You Afraid of the Dark, which were
Yo,
kind of similar shows, but also very different in two different ways.
well, do you remember how creepy the Goosebumps intro was? Dun dun
Yeah,
dun
I
dun
loved it.
dun. It was
Yeah, it
so
was
good.
terrifying.
Viewer
Yeah, as a kid.
beware. You're in
Yeah,
for a
exactly.
scare. And you always, well,
Yeah.
not always, but a lot of the time you really were.
Goosebumps terrified me as a kid
What was the
because I
scariest
think it was like
episode you ever saw?
scariest episode. I can't remember them all off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I think there was, I think there was like one. There was this guy in a library
Yes.
who this girl he would like turn into a monster and he ate a turtle or something.
Oh, I remember that. I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah. I remember
yeah.
that one. Do you remember how it
She was
ended?
like, I I I don't know. He probably ate the student because
No,
that's how they
you're
all
really
ended.
close. You're really close. So yeah,
Yeah,
so I think he was a spider. He was like a giant spider he would turn into, and he was like eating things at
right.
the library. And the girl went home and told her parents, and the parents were like,
Yeah.
"There's no such thing as monsters," and they like
Hmm.
made it seem like they didn't believe her and all this stuff. And then the parents were like, "Why don't we invite him? Let's have him for dinner. Let's have him for dinner."
Right.
And they invite him over, and then he comes over, and at the dinner table, the parents grow these huge vampire fangs, and they ate him.
That is a hell of a twist.
Dude, that was crazy. That was the first episode they ever aired on TV. That terrified
Yeah.
me. I was so scared.
Yeah, that one sticks out in my head. That one was
I, I s-
terrifying.
I still remember that one. I went to bed literally with goosebumps because it like, dude, that one really got to me.
Hmm.
Same
Yeah,
with her.
Goosebumps, that was dark, man. They always had bad endings too.
Yeah, I
That's what I
know.
remember.
I remember that too. Same with the books, right? Oh,
Yeah.
you got to share your Goosebumps book story. You have. We cannot leave this out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, so
Yeah.
I have a Goosebumps story. So
Yes.
I one Christmas, I think, I don't know, I must have been like 7 or 8 or whatever. Your brother, he gives us a gift for Christmas. And he gives it to us in his old N64 box that he got. And
Yeah.
so I'm like super excited. I think, oh, like, holy crap, we're gonna get an N64. I open it up and it's all his old Goosebumps books.
That's brutal.
I was so
Ah,
disappointed.
dude, that is horrible.
Yeah. I was I was like, he must have been trolling. There's no way.
You know that he spent like how would he come up with such an evil idea? That's my question.
It's
That's low. That's evil.
it's absolutely sinister. Yeah.
Sinister. That was the exact word I was going to use. Sinister.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sinister move, Gary.
It's as sinister as any Goosebumps episode.
Wow. I don't even know what to say, man. That's
Yeah,
brutal.
that one that always stuck out to me. That's like a core memory of childhood. And I've
Oh
never
my
brought it
God.
up
That is
before now.
crazy. It's funny.
I've never
I
mentioned
don't
it. So.
remember that at all.
I know. You were there, but I
I
guess
was there.
yeah, you would have been there.
Oh, I'm sure my parents defended him.
I don't know. Yeah, you had to have known what
Well,
he
he
was
needed a
doing.
box.
Needed a box. Yeah, why not? That
Oh,
was one of my earliest major disappointments in life.
well, dude, that brought to you by my younger brother. Dude, that's so brutal. Well, thankfully you got an N64 later as you got older, but dude, that's
I
crazy.
did. I think about a year or two later we got one of our
Yeah.
own.
Well,
So I mean,
there's lots of videos like that on the internet of kids pranking their or parents pranking their kids and doing that, giving them an Xbox box with like clothes
yeah,
and stuff. These kids freak out and lose their mind. That's just cruel and unusual punishment, I think.
yeah,
It's brutal.
yeah.
I guess Garrett by that point was convinced that Santa had already made up his mind whether or not Garrett had been good. And by the time like you open that box of books, it would be too late for Santa to resend any of Gary's presents.
That's a good point. Yeah, yeah. He's gaming the system.
Totally calculated risk.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's funny. Yeah.
Oh man. I'm just thinking about scary shows I saw when I was a kid.
Mhm.
You were probably too young for this. Did you ever watch the Ghostbusters cartoon?
No, I think that was another one that was like a little ahead of my
Okay.
time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, again, I keep saying it's one of the first shows I remember watching, but the more we talk, the more shows I remember. But Ghostbusters, I think again, I was like 4 or 5. And it was
Mhm.
always a fun, like cool show, and it was never really scary. But they had this one episode that terrified me, and it was with the Boogeyman. And
Right.
what it was the Boogeyman lived in kids' closets, and at night the boogeyman would like he was in his like dimension, he was in his own dimension, but he would like come through the dimension through kids' closets and abduct them and steal them. It was so
Mhm.
terrifying, and they made the boogeyman look so scary. And the
Mhm.
Ghostbusters had to like go in through this closet portal and go to the boogeyman's like dimension and like just defeat him and rescue all these captured children. It was so scary. After that episode, I didn't sleep well for months. I was so scared of what was gonna like the boogeyman was gonna come get me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, as a kid, that kind of stuff really does terrify you.
Well, yeah, and even when I was like researching the show to make sure that, yeah, like, no, did that really happen? Was that a real episode? They showed the picture of the boogeyman and it like gave me the like chills all over again. It's still like psychologically buried there in my cells.
Yeah. Yeah. It's imprinted.
Yeah.
These are core memories.
Well, these are core memories.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Unsolved Mysteries?
It sounds familiar,
Oh,
but
that
again, I
was a
don't know.
scary show. So it was all about like UFO, like alien abductions, ghosts, demonic
Hmm.
possession. Oh, it was so scary. They had
Was
like
this
murder.
was this like a
It
real
was a real
life?
show. It was a real show. It was this guy Robert Stack was the narrator, and
Right.
he had this like really scary, like super ultra serious, deep voice. I feel like I
Hmm.
always remember him wearing a trench coat. That might not be right, but I feel like he was always wearing a trench coat, and all his on camera talking, where he was like talking about the alien abduction or whatever, he was always like in some really like dark field or like somewhere like it was such a creepy show, man. It was very good. And
Hmm.
my older brother and I always watched it, and it was like on late at night, kind of for us, like 8 o'clock, 8 to 9. So it'd be the last thing
Hmm.
we would watch before we went to bed. And I am sure some bedwettings were the fault of Unsolved Mysteries. Like it was so scary, like aliens abducting people at night. And all right, good night, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good sleep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
Terrifying,
that's
man.
good. Yeah, I was terrified of either zombies,
Yeah.
aliens, or Bigfoot as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I never worried about a real criminal breaking into my house. It was either ghosts or
No.
aliens.
Yeah, always.
And now it's flipped. Now it's like real criminal, ghosts, then aliens. But I would say more real criminal now. It's sort of like it's jumped up the hierarchy. So,
Yeah.
but I just leave my car keys in the front of the house with a big sign saying here they are and all my money and stuff because that's what we're supposed to do in Canada.
Yes,
Here's the
that's
car.
what the government says to do.
Yes,
So I
that's what we're
listen to
told.
them and do
Here's
what they
please
say.
take the car and here's some cash. And I
Yeah.
bake them
So
some
they're
cookies. Yeah. Yeah.
come on
Please,
in,
please take. Yeah.
please.
Um, do you remember uh do you remember when Simpsons first came out?
I think it came out. No, I don't think I remember when it first came out. I do remember watching it,
Well, that's what I mean. I don't
but
mean the date. I think it was like 89 or 90. But dude, I remember when that
right.
show came out, that was like that like rocked. that rocked kid culture because it was sort of like this forbidden show that a lot of parents didn't want their kids watching.
Yeah, that's interesting because I would have been late 90s, I guess, or early 2000s when I was watching it on TV. I never knew that it was like forbidden.
Oh yeah, so I think it came out when I was in grade three, and it was a super
Okay.
exciting thing because it started off actually as like it started off on this like other show, Tracy Ullman show, but then they made Butterfinger commercials, and everyone thought Bart was like
Yeah.
the coolest kid in these Butterfinger commercials. Then we found out they were making a whole show out of it. And parents got so upset that they like forbade their kids watching it. My parents were really cool. They let us watch it. So we
Yeah.
recorded it on VHS, and all these kids from my class would come over and like, don't tell my mom that we're watching Simpsons. And it was like we were like this secret clubhouse where kids could come over and watch the like the bad shows. It was pretty
It was
funny.
The Simpsons.
Dude,
Wow.
Simpsons was the bad show. Which is crazy now when you think about what else was on TV. Like back then, that was like the bad one.
Yeah, that's surprising. I never knew that actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, South Park came out. I remember when South Park came out. I can understand why parents didn't want their kids watching that one. That was pretty intense.
Yeah, South Park was, I definitely knew that was a forbidden show.
Ooh.
There was one,
That's-
I think I was like grade two,
yeah,
grade one or two, and there was
yeah.
one kid in my class who always watched it.
Oh, here's a cartoon. Let's
Yeah, I
just
had
put
no
this one
idea
on
what
for
was
the
going
kids.
on. Yeah, there's a child who dies every episode.
It was crazy. I didn't get into South Park for a long time until I was an adult. But
Yeah.
um, speaking of adult shows, did you ever watch like remember Friday nights when they'd have TGIF on probably like ABC? I think it was ABC. They'd have TGIF Fridays.
Yeah, again, I don't know. This 10-year difference between us, it's like changed
Well,
the
TGIF
lineup
was
quite a
like
bit.
it was like Boy Meets World, Family Matters.
Okay. I do remember Boy Meets World.
Yes, yes, that was my
Yeah.
first introduction to like unrealistic expectations of kind of girlfriend you could get.
As a total nerd.
Yeah, I remember.
That wouldn't be his girlfriend. Come
I
on.
know, dude. That's like when I think back, that is still my main memory of that show. I was like, how did he get her?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I don't really want to delve into any deeper into that, but like that was the thing. I remember that was like I couldn't get over that every time I watched it because it was Corey Matthews was like this total dweeb and had this
Mhm.
unbelievably hot girlfriend that like every single guy who watched that show had a crush on Topanga.
Yeah, yeah. I remember thinking she was pretty hot.
And I'm sure all the girls had a crush on Sean Hunter or uh it was his brother Eric, probably with the guys with the cool hair.
I think Eric was his brother. Yeah, with the
Yeah,
cool 90s
the
hair.
cool 90s like the
Yeah,
surfer surfer hair. That was
yeah.
good. Um Fresh Prince, you must have watched that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I watched Fresh Prince. I always liked that one. That the theme song is burned
Oh
into my
yeah.
memory.
Oh, I forgot about the theme song. That was so good. That was like
Yeah.
the best part of the show every time.
Dude, it's stuck in my head. Like I still hum it to myself sometimes.
Yeah. You know, I totally forgot about that, but it was like you had to watch. That's the only show I can think of where like the intro and the theme song are so integral to the actual show that like you gotta watch that too.
Right, it is because it's like, yeah, it's like the prequel
Yes.
to
I
the
totally
show.
forgot
It's
about
telling you
that.
the entire plot of the show
I know. Oh man, that was so good. Now
in
it's
the
stuck
theme
in my
song.
head too. I feel like
That's actually quite brilliant.
it's
Yeah.
so good, man. There's like I don't know how many tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people like know that song. It's just like buried in their brain. Like people of all
Mhm.
ages. Because my whole family watched that show. Like that was one of those shows where my whole family would like hang out and watch like Fresh Prince.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah. It was good. I liked it.
It was good. I
Yeah.
remember the most shocking episode I ever saw there was where they had the pool party and Carlton comes out in his bathing suit and dude, he is like ripped. Like
Yeah.
Carlton's like ripped, and you're looking at him
Yeah.
like that is not because Carlton was like this like big dork.
Yeah. He's supposed to be a major dork, really
Yeah,
neurotic, like a
yeah,
total goody two shoes.
totally like a geek, and he comes out, he's just like
Takes
shredded.
shit off. He's fucking shredded. Yeah.
Yeah, those are my two main memories of that show is the song, Carlton being ripped, and just how giant Uncle Phil was. He was a monster of a man.
Yes, yes.
Huge.
I also remember thinking Ashley was pretty cute. She's the younger sister, right?
Yes, that's another. Oh, you're right. That's a good
Yeah.
point. That was like, yeah, I couldn't think of cartoon crushes, but yeah, she was, yes, quite good looking. Quite good looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, there's a theme here
What's that?
that many of my core memories of TV shows are girls that I thought were attractive.
Yes, whether cartoon or human.
Whether cartoon or human,
But
doesn't
back then,
matter.
it was okay to have a crush on a cartoon.
Yeah, when you're a kid, it's yeah,
When you're a kid, you can say that. Like you could,
yeah,
it would be okay for a kid to do that. But if a guy came out and was like, you know who I think is hot is Ayla Sakura, right, guys?
yeah, exactly.
You know from the Clone Wars or no? What's their name? No, who? What's his apprentice's name
Uh,
in the Clone Wars? What's
Someone's
her
having
name?
this one. Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. Uh,
How am I not? She's got her own spin-off on Disney.
yeah, I can't remember right
I
now.
can't remember her name either. I wish I was Joe Rogan and I had that guy who could just like, um,
Jamie, pull it up.
yeah,
Yeah, you need
uh,
Jamie. You need your own Jamie.
uh, look, Ahsoka Tano. Great. Well, my joke died because I had to
So
look
good
up the
time.
name, but yeah, no adult male would ever be like, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
it's
funny.
not a point of pride as an
Not a point of
adult.
pride. Oh my gosh. All right. Um, I nah. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. Um, Disney. Dude, did you ever do Disney Channel with your family?
Yeah, I remember Disney Channel. I remember Disney Channel would have, I think it was like Sunday night. They'd
Mm-hmm.
have like movie nights.
Yes, totally.
I remember, yeah, staying up late to watch
Yes,
all these like Disney movies, these kids
yes,
movies. Those were
yes.
fun.
Oh, those are so awesome when there'd be like a Disney. I think they had it like every Sunday night for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, they did. I
Yeah.
think I saw like Little Shop of Horrors on there
Oh,
and a bunch
nice.
of other, probably saw Pee-wee's Big Adventure on there.
Yeah, probably did. And sometimes they would
Yeah,
have like the cartoons on, the Disney cartoon movies, and they would always
yeah.
have Christmas specials and Halloween specials, and oh, it was so awesome.
And this is one of the things I love about old TV is that they always had like these consistent lineups.
Yes.
I was gonna say like this is one of the things I miss about old cable is that like everybody had like maybe 50 channels
Yeah.
and you knew what every channel
Yes.
was.
Yes.
And as a kid, maybe there was like 4 or 5 channels and you could just click between them and you knew the time slots,
Yes.
and you knew exactly like, okay, Friday night, Saturday morning,
Yeah.
Sunday night, like, and you just lock in and
Yes.
you're in for a good time.
You knew what was on at what time on what
Mm-hmm.
channel.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you
I
try to
missed that.
watch, yeah, remember when you try to watch two shows at the same time? Like during commercials
Yeah.
on one, you'd flip through and watch the other, and then you'd keep going
Yes.
back, and you like you miss parts of it. And it's, oh, it's just so stressful.
Oh, you just unlocked another core memory.
I totally forgot about that until you brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that brings up another memory for me is at my house, my family. Like we watch TV together, and I think that's awesome because that is an amazing memory for me. Like it's really funny. I can like literally picture it all in my head as we're talking about it. But we
Mm.
uh we didn't usually let my mom hold the remote because all the guys in my house, they knew what channels had the stuff at what time, right? So the guys would just like hold that button down, the channel change button, and just like
Yeah.
through the channel, stop on the right one, right? Whereas when my
Yeah.
mom had the remote, start on channel two, which there was almost never anything good on other than Disney. And she'd go up, she'd stop on channel three. We're like, Mom, this is the French channel. Well, I don't know that.
Well, we do.
Everyone does. We do.
Why don't we have this
She'd stop on
memorized?
channel four. It's like the Knowledge
Yeah.
Network. And then
Yeah.
she'd stay on a channel, like, but keep going. And she's like, well, I don't know what's on. And how do you know if it's good if you don't watch it? And that caused so many fights in our house. We
Dude,
eventually
channel
banned
surfing.
Yeah,
Yes.
we banned my
Yes.
mom from holding the clicker while we were all
Yeah.
watching TV as a group because it was just like, dude, it's so much chaos, so much stress.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember that. Yeah. Channel surfing was somebody who was aggravating you.
yeah,
It's like a point of stress as a kid.
yes, high stress.
This was like one of your highest stress points as a kid
Yeah,
was channel surfing with
channel
somebody who
surfing.
was like, "What are you doing?"
Dude, totally. Oh man, I never even thought about that until just now. You're totally right. Yeah, that was like a
Yeah,
yeah. When you don't have anything else to stress you out, let's get stressed out about that.
right, exactly.
Oh, that's hilarious. Um, And I do have to give credit to my mom, man. Like, I remember my mom was like integral in like Sunday night, like arranging family time where we would like all watch Disney together and stuff. And
Hmm.
when I look back, those are some of the most comforting memories of my entire life. Is just watching Disney Channel and like Disney movies, like with my mom and my family on Sunday nights.
Mm.
Like those were, dude, if I could like describe childhood comfort in one scene, it would be that.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
So
didn't
thank
we
you.
didn't do movie nights. For me, it was just my
Yeah.
brothers and I,
Yeah.
but it was similar.
Yeah, so thank you, Mom. That was beautiful. And that obviously it still sticks with me again like I'm getting choked up thinking about it. That was just awesome.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, dude, watching TV with your family. And you know, I have the same it's like a different type of memory because it was when I was older. That was when I was like 4 or 5. But I also have
Mm.
amazing memories of like when I was in grade 12 and I was 17 years old. Coming home, I had my first like real job at McDonald's and I would come home on like a Friday night or a Saturday night at like I don't know, like 8:30, 9:30, kind of like too late. I didn't really want to go hang out with my friends because I'd already like been working and stuff. But my younger brother would always be home. And I'd come home and he'd be watching Johnny Bravo or the original Clone Wars cartoon,
Oh
the
yeah,
short ones.
Johnny Bravo. I remember that.
Yeah, and I'd come home and he'd be watching Cartoon Network and dude, we would just like hang out and like order pizza and just like watch cartoons together and stuff. I mean, that was so awesome. Like those are two of the biggest memories I have is just, yeah, hanging out with my siblings, watching TV and hanging out with
Mm.
my family, like my parents and stuff. It's just like the amount of comfort that that could bring you is just like, I can't think of anything to compare it to.
That was amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the best parts of childhood was just hanging out watching TV. And you think like, oh, you're wasting time watching
Yeah.
TV, but I don't know. I loved it.
I loved it too, man. And
We had a great
I don't
time.
know.
So.
I just can't do it today. It's like it's different today. It's almost like it's too easy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's too accessible, it's too easy. It doesn't quite have that same like specialty now when you can like watch anything you want whenever you want. It's like
Yeah, it takes the magic away, and that goes back to what I said before about when I liked it more when there was like standard cable
yeah,
or whatever it was, and you'd have like channels, and everybody had the same channels, and they
yes.
you knew what it was.
Yeah,
But now we have like I
totally.
don't even know how many streaming platforms there is.
Too many.
There's too many. You know, who can keep up?
Less access, more value.
Yeah, there's something magic about having to lock in at a certain time, and
Yeah,
you know
totally.
everybody's watching the same things, and
And your family would plan around it. Like it's Sunday night, 7 o'clock, everyone be here.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Not like you could go anywhere else when you were 4, but you know what I mean?
Mm.
It was like a thing. Same with TGIF. Like I remember planning that out like with my brother and stuff. And we was like, hey, Saturday morning cartoons. Like we would get up and, you know, just watch cartoons together, both of them. It was awesome.
It's the same concept of like Blockbuster from the other episode. Is like going into Blockbuster to actually pick a movie. Like it makes it special.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Except I got kicked out of Blockbuster and banned. But
Yeah, I
video
never heard
stuff.
that story.
Yeah, no, that's a real story. That's a real
Hilarious.
true
Yeah.
story. Oh, that's embarrassing. I won. I won. That's all I can say. Um, you know, as I we're getting towards the end of this here, but I just want to say like on a totally different and I'm only going to dip my toes in this on a totally different channel from family childhood innocence and family togetherness was as you got a little older. Now, I was ahead of you 10 years, so I don't know where you landed in
Mhm.
this, but I remember Canada. We got a bunch of new networks. We got 5 new networks. Um I don't know, it was like the mid 90s or something, 95, 94, 95, 96, somewhere in there. And like a bunch of new networks started airing. And I remember like one night my family was out for dinner and my mom was like, "Oh, well, these new TV networks are disgusting. It's nothing but a bunch of nudity." And as a 12 or 13-year-old boy, I was like,
It's
"What?"
a showcase.
It was Showcase. And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, this Showcase channel, disgusting."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, All right, well, what channel is that? Just so I can stay away from it. It's 28. Okay, and when do these shows come on just so I can make sure to avoid them? Well, usually Friday
Yeah.
night at
What
11
time?
o'clock.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, don't watch channel 28 on Friday night at 11 o'clock. Okay, well, won't do. Thanks. Dude, so of course, like that week, I'm like up at, Friday night, 11 o'clock, tonight
Hmm.
on the Showcase review. And then the warning would come up. It'd be like, warning, the following program contains violence, nudity, and sexuality. Like, that's why I'm here. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, this was like pre-internet days. So, and it wasn't that it was graphic content or explicit content, but they would show these
No, it was
like
like
it was like artsy
softcore, artsy.
European
Yeah.
movies, and they'd have like a
Yeah.
topless scene at the beach or something. But as a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old kid in the pre-internet age, you'd be like, ah, you'd be like,
Yeah.
have your like VHS tape ready to go, just like record, record like 10 seconds of like a scene on a nude beach or something, and like, whew,
Mhm.
you want to talk about desperate times call for desperate measures or high value, like low access, high value. That was like,
Yeah.
that was that kind of thing back then.
I grew up with early internet, so
Yeah.
I won't say too much more,
Well,
but
you were spoiled in a bad
I
way.
get the concept.
We
Yeah.
know what we're saying. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to go any further than this, other than the fact that I'm going to say the only thing like more embarrassing or depraved than staying up till 2 a.m. for the showcase review was uh was the Scramble channel. And you're either going to know what I'm talking about or you're not. And there's going to be a bunch of guys
Mhm.
out there right now be like, "Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about." And a bunch of people going, "I've what is he talking about? The Scramble channel?" And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And I realized I had to tell that story in a somewhat subtle way. Some people will get it, some people won't, but it's like I'm very excited for the day I can tell these stories like full volume with or not full volume, but like full blast without having to be subtle about anything. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, I hear you.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So,
It's coming.
it's coming. It's coming. My time is coming.
Your time is coming,
My
yes.
time is
And
coming.
I look forward to being able to unleash a little more.
Absolutely. And we're at the end of our episode here. The hardest
Mm.
episode we've ever recorded.
Yeah, the hardest and most, it feels like a cursed episode.
It did. I know.
So I don't know if this is going to be any good, but you
Well, who
gotta
knows?
keep
Better than yesterday. Full
plugging away.
disclosure, this is the second time. I wasn't actually going to bring this up, but this is actually the second time we filmed
Yeah.
this episode. Jake and I tried to film it in person yesterday, and it did not go for so many reasons that we're not going to get into here. It did not go, and so this is our second kick at the can, and we're doing it remotely. We actually got together in person yesterday to do it, and yeah, it was it needed a redo. That's all I'm gonna say.
I
Um,
went all the way over there, made the
all the
trip,
way over. Well, I appreciate it.
you
And
know?
I really want to end. I really want to end on this note that so many of the shows we watched, I don't know, man, like they were so ridiculous, but I think it's kind of like why we love them so much. They're fun,
Mm.
silly, tons of action,
Yeah,
like
they're goofy. Yeah.
yeah, goofy. There's like all the stuff we loved packed into like just like 30 minutes of total entertainment. And
Mm.
I think what we've touched about like a lot today is like back then, like it wasn't so much like the quality of the writing or the animation or the story or anything. It was how the shows made you feel.
Yeah, but I will say that the quality of the writing was way better back then.
That probably was. And
Yeah.
whether it was like Saturday morning cartoons with your siblings or TGIF Fridays and feeling like you're cool or do that magical, comfortable charm of like Sunday night Disney specials. I feel like the shows we watched back then, they were way more than just entertainment. Like I said before, I feel like that was our childhood, right? Watching shows with
Yeah.
friends and family, like, dude, those are some of the best moments of our whole childhood.
Some of the best memories ever. Yeah. Total escape. It's really made me who I am today. It's
Yeah, same.
formative. That's the word I'm looking
Formative.
for.
Yes.
Yeah.
And despite growing up on Pee Wee Herman, I feel like I've actually done quite well. I don't talk to my furniture, and I'm here I am. I've made it.
Well, there's still time for a lewd act in a movie theater. Never say never.
Well, I'm gonna try to keep that off my resume. But like, yeah, hey, who knows what the future holds? So
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what, man? Hey, I want to thank you for coming on again. This was, like you said, this was a very difficult episode to film. This was the craziest episode ever. We're actually leaving out some stuff that happened during this filming one. Um,
Yes,
but
yes, may or may
I'm
not
glad
have
we're at the end
been
of this one. This one was nuts.
interrupted. This one is, yeah, it's weird, but hey, you're still early in the podcast and you're gonna have some hiccups and
Hmm.
we'll
Just keep
just
going.
keep doing it and get better at it every time.
Yeah. Oh, and I hope people enjoyed it. Like I say, I always hope it's good. I know some episodes are better than others. This one, because it's sort of like the difficulties we had getting it done. This probably isn't the best one we've ever done, but I hope if you were listening, made you laugh and smile, think back, maybe some wonderful memories with your own friends and family, and just like it kind of shows you watched growing up and just the comfort that it brought you. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope on some level that made you feel good and it resonated with you.
Hope so.
Yeah. All right, Jake. So that's it. I really appreciate you joining. Come back again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Please. Yeah, have me on as much as you want.
Totally. Oh, yeah. And for all those people listening, please go ahead if you're watching on YouTube. If you could like and subscribe, it really helps. If you're listening on Spotify, feel free to share it with someone who might get a kick out of it. If you can leave a like or a positive review of the episode, it's all very helpful. So thank you again for everyone who's listening. Much appreciated. And we'll see you next week.
See ya.
See you.